Hello, and welcome to this message. Today I'm going to be filming an ancient Chinese prophecy, and for this purpose, I have first I'm going to be interpreting some mahjong cards. So, in terms of what they mean in Chinese symbolism as well. So let's just see. So, yeah. So this is the direct answer, right? So this is what we are going to be talking about, the topic at hand. You can expect in the future, I think this is talking about that you can expect love and happiness in the future. The future is looking quite bright. There are certain requirements in order for this to become a reality, quite possibly. But if you go a little bit deeper into this, right? So this is a card of the plum blossoms, and it's very interesting in terms of symbolism because, it talks about that you will be that you are very resilient, that you will be persevering, that you will find hope again, and that you are going to be blooming in a very vibrant way because plum blossoms tend to bloom very vibrantly in even in late summer. They are known to often bloom amidst the snow, so that also says a lot, right? And it's also is a seen as a symbol that signals the impending spring. So also it's considered to be a noble flower, right? So connected to the four virtues, um, like the four virtues in ancient Chinese concepts, I guess. So also in general, like the plum blossoms, like refer to the four virtues, right? And one of the four virtues is the plum blossom. And what is the plum blossom connected to? On the one hand, morality, but also purity, modesty, and the ability to thrive in adversity, which I think is applicable here. So I do think that that you at the moment are becoming you are very modest. So maybe you're very humble. You express yourself very humbly, um, and um, and you are becoming more pure by the day, right? So there's something about you coming back to purity, you coming back to innocence, you coming back to yourself, you becoming you expressing yourself in a very humble way, and that you will also that you are thriving in adversity right now, quite possibly, that you are very resilient, that you are very persevering, that you are becoming hopeful, and you are going to be blooming very vibrantly, right? So even if like right now, because it seems to be winter time as in terms of the cards, right? So I do think that you are probably in a situation where nothing is happening or very little signs of progress are visible for you, but still you're very hopeful, and you are most definitely persevering into the future. You're going to be even thriving in adversity. So that could be, it makes me think about that sometimes people invest in crisis times, right? So when people usually don't have money, some people invest and can really grow their business during downtimes in the economy, right? So I do think that maybe you are going to be, if this is a downturn in the economy, I don't know, then, or at very least in your economy, then I do think that you're going to be thriving in that. So it means, I think you are investing while for example, while you are either the world is in an economic not so great place, or in an economic downtime, or you are in an economic downtown and still you are choosing to invest some money to grow, to start investing in things that could create more money in the future, right? That could create a progress in the future in terms of a business if you have a business. So whatever it may be, you are investing into you are investing in an economic downturn for yourself or for the world or your country, and you're going to be thriving as a result of that. So you are investing in yourself. You're investing in maybe certain skills, certain whatever you may be investing into a business, into services for the future. So you are investing right now, and you are going to thrive in what is actually an economic down period, quite likely, or at the very least an economic down period for yourself. So you're not really seeing any progress immediately. There are no signs of growth. You're not really doing that great economically, but you are investing into the future, which is a good thing to do. And if this is talking about the economy in general that is experiencing a downturn in your country, then would be a perfect time for you to invest, because other people, for example, your competitors likely won't have the money to invest, and you have, so you could progress maybe very quickly as a result of that, for example, right? So this is most definitely a time to invest, um, because it's going to be allowing you to thrive in what is adversity right now, and what will become abundance for you, which is in a larger sense or in a more private sense that this is happening. So that's what we're seeing here. So that's good. And if you're having a little bit of a difficult time, you will be persevering through that. You will be very resilient as you're moving through this. And the spring is already up at hand. So it means that there is going to be a renewal, new growth, better times ahead, more hopeful, more positive, more optimistic times ahead. So that, like, yeah, the future is looking good, right? And then as we are looking into how you should approach the situation you are in. So since this is talking about the situation itself, I do think that this is talking about how do you best approach this situation where you may be experiencing like an economic down period in your life or in your country, right? How you approach that in the best way possible, or how you are considering approaching that. I could also talk about that, but like I would go for the best approach to this. So, what is the best approach to this situation at hand? Which could also be a period of adversity and like a difficult time or something, and like how you're going to be best approaching that in order to have a prosperous future, you could say, in whatever way you want to see that. And what I'm receiving is the Eight of Wheels, which means that this is connected with the idea of the tiger, which is interesting because the tiger comes up twice, because there's also a mentioning a little bit further of the white tiger of the West. So there is a connection there. And this tiger has to do with giving you the advice that how you can best approach the situation is by you being very authoritative. So, because it talks about a tiger is an authoritative figure, right, as a leader figure. So, I do think that you have to show yourself as a figure of authority, right? So that you take charge of the situation, that you show leadership, that you show authority. And this is also the tiger in and of itself is a symbol of power, of strength, of bravery, of protection. He's regarded as the king of all beasts, right? So, that like leader figure is most definitely maybe also the archetype of the queen or the king could be something you want to embody. Um, which could be like your best approach to the situation was definitely take authority, take charge, and show yourself as a leader, right? Don't let them show yourself as the king of all beasts, right? So it means in this case, I think it is most definitely also talking about considering evil, right? Like standing up to evil, but also like beasts in the sense like the demonic realm, right? So definitely take authority over that, but also like maybe you want to show yourself as a king or a queen archetype in your life in terms of authority, leadership, control, and like how you approach yourself, self-respect, and these kinds of things. So everything to do with the king and queen archetype. And that this is a highly revered animal as well. So the tiger is highly revered in the Chinese culture. Um, it is also often paired with the dragon, so you could see it as well. And again, a reference to overcoming adversity, because like it has that idea about the koi fish and the dragon, that story, right? Like the koi fish kept on swimming, trying to get up the waterfall, and eventually was rewarded with becoming a dragon who could fly anywhere, right? So given freedom, I guess you could see it like that. So if you persevere, you will be given freedom. You will be able to be get yourself in a much better place, and you'll be able to thrive in adversity, right? In adverse times. I think that adverse economic downtimes, pretty much, and also even like could even be adverse times in terms of like what you are not like, because it talks about you protecting yourself against something, right? And what you are protecting against seems to be a downtime, pretty much. It is you are protecting yourself from bad luck, from evil spirits, from um, from a negative time, pretty much, and even economic downtime for yourself as well. So why am I saying that? Because like the dragon overcomes adversity with keeping on persevering, and this is also a message of perseverance, right? Be hopeful and persevere. So this is definitely the right approach to take. And also, the tiger is considered to be is believed to be like an animal that wards off evil spirits and disasters. So you have to protect yourself by making it very very clear. Like, I'm going to be embracing the queen or the king archetype. Perhaps you may want to look that up, what that actually means. And also to become like an authoritative figure, right? To be a leader, to be someone of authority, someone who is a visionary, a leader, all kinds of things, but most definitely who takes an authoritative stance towards anything that's considered evil. Also to ward off evil spirits, which makes me think about that you want to protect yourself from by not engaging with people that have evil spirits within them, right? So to not engage with, for example, people who are of a little bit, uh, yeah, who are causing this, right? So you, like, I got like these messages as well, like that God will make it very clear to you by, like, if you distance yourself from certain people, you will notice that you have more luck. People are more friendly to you. Everything is you're clearer in your mind. All kinds of things, right? You have more moments of unexpected joy. Even perhaps a bigger connection with God. So there's something about that. It will be very very clear what you need to stay away from. And as long as you stay away from that, right, you are protecting yourself from evil spirits, right? You are protecting yourself from perhaps just lower vibrational spirits than you, right? Which could just be people's energy as well. So you are protecting yourself by taking an authoritative stance, which is the right approach to take here, and it's also preordained to be. So you are also protecting yourself from disasters, which means like if you are engaging with people with certain kinds of energies, then you will start to notice that you attract more demonic attacks, right? You attract more negative experiences, or just say negative experience in and of itself, because you will be able to ward off all kinds of disasters, all kinds of like pretty much your life being joy, clarity, peace, beautiful people you meet, and nothing but friendliness, and a really kind universe, and like nothing but positivity will be the result of you not engaging with this. And it should be very clear of what you should not be engaging with. um, and this is also preordained to be that you would not have a bad period up ahead. You could say that you are going to be protecting yourself was meant to be. It was already preordained that this would be the case. So this is also something that is kind of like given to you, that you're being inspired towards. It's not really something that came from within. It is something, it is perhaps even as well a preordained, um, like, because this also talks about the heavens and such, right? So it could be that because this talks about heaven luck, so it means that the heavens, right, that God may be protecting you in the upcoming time because it is preordained that you will be protected at this time, and also that you will be protecting yourself. So let's see. And then we have what the result, what the outcome will be of you protecting yourself from certain kinds of influences, I would say. And we have the tree of bamboo for that. And the tree of bamboo is connected to the toad, the concept of the toad as an animal. So I don't really know what overreach means. Or I received something about overconfidence and overreach, which is a traditional way of looking at this card. But I also looked it up, and it is also considered, like, the toad is considered to be a powerful symbol of wealth, prosperity, and good luck, because it connects to this idea about the golden toad or the money frog, for example, right? So it definitely seems that that as you are protecting yourself, so if you succeed at protecting yourself from evil spirits, and also from like whatever you need to stay away from in order to prevent disasters, right? Then you will likely see abundance in the future. So literally good luck, like you warding off evil spirits, you warding off certain negative influences and the disasters that would come with that. You are literally guarding yourself against bad luck, because the toad is considered to be a an, a symbol of attracting fortune, and also um, something that guards you against bad luck, right? So we actually see it twice. So the tiger is a symbol that wards off evil spirits and disasters. But it is the approach you need to take, and it is a form. The tiger is a symbol of protection, so I do think you have to protect yourself from it, but also you are going to be experiencing heaven luck, right? So, but I do think it is connected. So I do think, because it is an approach to the situation, that you have to actively protect yourself from certain influences that God has been showing you you need to stay away from. And if you do this, you will be experiencing heaven luck. You will be experiencing something that's very preordained, which is of course always going to be the case, but like that this is happening right now was preordained, and you will be experiencing the luck of the heavens, right? So God blessing you pretty much, and you can ward off evil spirits and disasters, right? And this says, like, this is a symbol that guards against bad luck, so it's kind of the same thing. It's like you will attract good fortune to you, and which will also include wealth and prosperity and good luck, right? So fortunate circumstances, and you may already be seeing that right now, that you are starting to see fortunate circumstances, that your luck is changing. And why is your luck changing? Because there is of course a preordained aspect to it, but it's also because you are effectively protecting yourself from certain influences. So yeah. And this also has to do with how your environment helps or hinders your success. So it means that that the outside environment has a lot of effect on this, right? The outside environment has a big effect upon whether something whether this is going to be hindering or helping your success. So I do think, like, you're going to be attracting good luck, like, right, the right circumstances, lucky circumstances. So you'll be meeting positive people, right? But what I think more than anything is, because you are attracting good fortune, yes, you're attracting wealth, prosperity, good luck, good fortune. You're being guarded against bad luck because you are protecting yourself from certain influences. And this is how your environment is going to be hindering or helping your success. So I do think what this wants to say is that your environment what you are protecting yourself from, right? These influences that you're protecting yourself from will be determining whether they are going to be they would have either hindered your success pretty much. So protection helps you not guarding yourself against these influences by allowing them into your life will be what will be hindering your success, right? So let's see. Because it is also the outcome of your actions, right? And then we have the obstacles that you might be presented with in the upcoming time. So this is over the period of 1 month, I asked. And this relates to the West, right? To, of course, like the direction of the West in and of itself, but also to because in mahjong these are this is an honor card, and it is also connected to the guardians that protect the universe, right? The four guardians that connect the universe, which are connected to the directions of like west and east and such, right? So and this is connected to the tiger of the West, right? The white tiger of the West, which is again the tiger. So it's very, very interesting. um, so what this also connects to is that you may see an opportunity, that you may lose certain opportunities, that they may drift away from you due to objectivity. So I do think as well, what this usually talks about, like I've done these messages a lot for myself right in the past, and what this means is that you don't want to overthink everything, right? So certain things, there are certain opportunities that you could miss perhaps if you would be too much in your head about, too logical about, so be a little bit open-minded, I guess. But more than that, I do think that it has to do with this the guardian of the white tiger, right? So it means like, because the white tiger of the West is your guardian and guarding against obstacles that could come your way pretty much, and you are being represented as a tiger, right? The approach is the tiger. So I do think like you need to protect yourself. And what do you need to protect yourself from? From opportunities that might otherwise drift away from you due to bad luck, right? So you could have opportunities coming your way or drifting away from you based on you protecting yourself from these influences or not. And it is also, the West is the direction in which the sun sets, right? So the sun may be setting upon certain things. I think the sun needs to set on certain influences, quite likely. And you don't want the sun to set on certain opportunities, which is a beautiful way of saying what would happen otherwise. Yeah, it's connected to the element of metal as well, if you are interested in that. Let's see. Again, connected to being a symbol of authority. Authority, strength, and military prowess. So I do think that you are going to be able to be a very good strategist. You will be, because military prowess makes me think about strategy, perhaps. And that you will, yeah, you will have the right strategy to, you will be given the right strategy, and you have the right strategy to, I think you just now have the right strategy to guard yourself from what you need to protect yourself from. And you're going to be very, very effective at battling evil spirits, right? So you're going to be very, very effective in terms of that you have the right strategy, the right approach to battle against the demonic world. So you won't be affected by them. They won't be able to bring obstacles your way as a result of that. And this is also connected to autumn as well, so letting things go. So I do think like you need to let certain influences go, very, very important. So you need to guard yourself against that, is what this wants to say. And again, this idea about authority, like take authority, be strong and have authority over the situation at hand, because it is going to be very, very important that you show yourself in a very authoritative way. So yeah. And then at the then we're going to be looking at the near future, which is the last card of the Mahjong spread, and then we're going to go into we're going to look into like a fortune cookie and an oracle bone we're going to be interpreting. We have a hexagram here we're going to be interpreting, and a fortune stick as well. So let's just see. So what comes next is the Two of Characters. So this is your near future. And let's see. So this is connected to the idea of a sword. Maybe you will have to make a difficult choice that will hurt you no matter what you do. So it could be that you are in a situation that is just lost, perhaps. Maybe you have to let something go because it's just lost. So it could be that. But what it talks about much more interesting things, really. It also has to do with your near future will be highly influenced by your free will choices, which means your choices, your action steps, your behavior, your attitude towards life, these kinds of things will be highly influential upon what kind of a future you'll be stepping into. And it's also very interesting that you could see the sword, the knife, as something that where you sword and knife as something like you cut something out, which could be that because it's connected to autumn, perhaps you could see it like that, right? So you need to cut something out and turn and to have an let something go and cut something out off, cut something off. So, which just means like stop something, stay away from such certain influences, to go into this future, this prosperous future, this future built with that has good luck, and that will go where you will be guarded against both evil spirits and bad luck, which is connected, of course. So that's what this is talking about. And your choices, your attitude, your behavior, your action steps that you choose will be highly influential upon that. And this is also very interesting. Sometimes it's connected to the double-edged sword, so and which connects to the weapon of the gentleman. So you are going to be because it is this sword is the weapon of the gentleman, so it could be that you're going to be very gentle. So just you don't have to like fight a battle of like weaponizing, like whatever, like you don't have to fight a battle in a battle kind of way. It's much more that it's much more gentle in a sense, because you are just going to be your gentle self, very pure, very innocent, very morally correct, righteous, right? Modest. So these kinds of things is you, right? Because with this part here, like that's you. So keep going into that direction into the future. So you're not going to have to battle in terms of a battle that requires your innocence, or that requires that you would have to give up hope, or that you would not be the purity of yourself, like being completely yourself, or that you wouldn't be able to be humble in some kind of way, which of course is a positive thing. No, it has to do with battling in a different kind of way, which in a more gentle way, by just removing yourself from certain influences, which is the battle in and of itself, pretty much. So that's what this is talking about. And it's also you being righteous. It is the mastery of martial arts. So I do think as well that this is talking about that you will be able to defend yourself pretty much. And yeah, scholarly virtue. So maybe you're also going to be, because this is also connected to a scholar, so it could be connected to that, to the idea of organized discipline, which is a little bit further. Um, yeah, it could be connected to that, because this card connects to a scholar, being a scholar that is at work, right? So it could be that you are, and I do think it has something to do with the organized discipline, that you are going to be exercising organized discipline or authority as well. You're going to be an authoritative figure, taking authority, taking charge of the situation, showing leadership, right? So it's that, but also maybe you're going to be going into studies perhaps because scholarly virtue, the scholar is at work. Um, yeah, could be talking about that, right? So let's just see. So scholarly virtue, most definitely. Yeah, you're going to be able to exercise because it is associated with elite officials who are carrying such a sword, and it's meant for refined combat, right? So not really the sword that's being used by soldiers, but by the elite officials. So it means that you will be able to show to exercise a refined kind of combat, a more gentle kind of combat, the combat of righteousness, you could say, right? But it's more than that. It's you protecting yourself, which is the whole it's the most major thing of it all, right? You protecting yourself from certain influences is your protection. Your complete protection, pretty much. So let's just see. And then in terms of your fortune cookie, I received, and it was quite magical how this happened. I received a thrilling time is in store for you. So I'm 100% certain that this is the fortune cookie that wants to be expressed because it was very, very interesting how that came about. So a thrilling time is in store for you. So it means that in the future you will be maybe things will be very exciting, very enthusiastic making. Maybe there are going to be some very, very interesting things that are in store for you. Hopefully, a thrilling time won't mean that you haven't been able to protect yourself and that you are going to be experiencing some disasters, like some bad luck as a result of that. So I hope that's not the thrilling time that is in store for you. But I see it much more positive, actually. I see it as a very, very exciting time. So let's see. And then we have this oracle bone, and I created a card for that, right? To have some kind of a visual a long time ago, right? So this talks about that you will be living a life of bliss. Whatever you may be doing in the future may have longevity in it. What is up ahead, and also that the good endures. So the good, of course, endures. That in and of itself, right? You being a good person will make sure that you endure. The good endures, right? So it also could talk about like your innocence. You will be finding coming back to your innocence, your purity, yourself. All of these things will endure. So the good endures. So that you are coming back to yourself and you are moving forward in such a way, right? But also it has to do with uh, bliss, right? That there is a potential for success, though not all variables affecting the situation are known at this time. So there are certain variables, and I think the variable could be this. This could be the variable. Um, Whether you're going to go into success or not, because there is potential for success. But I do think that either there are certain variables that you do not know right now that will be affecting that success. But I also think that this could just be you protecting yourself. That is the variable, because that everything depends on that, right? Um, it's very important that you devote a lot of care towards your well-being and towards your health as well in the upcoming time, which is also very important, and that you try to achieve to be able to live a blissful life. And Yeah, so this is connected to the idea of a scholar at work. Also, time is also very important. Um, so this is what if something has longevity, it will come from the work that is done by the scholar. And it also connects again this message about never letting your mind run idle, because it is the key to this longevity. So I do think that if you want to have success, I think this is also one of those variables. If you want to have success, that you need to be and have good luck and these kinds of things, that you can't let your mind run idle. And I do think it has to do with this hexagram here of organized discipline, hexagram 7, so that you have a plan pretty much. that you aren't just disciplined, that you are very organized in your discipline, and maybe also have a plan to keep yourself away from these influences. I do think you already have the strategy. So I think the strategy in and of itself to keep yourself away from these negative influences is to be have a plan for the day, to be very organized and disciplined as you are dedicating yourself to something very specific on a specific day, to be organized about that, and to also be very disciplined when it comes to that, which will protect you, because you have a different focus, right? But don't let your mind run idle, right? So make sure that it is focused, right? That it is dedicated, focused. How do you say that? Determined. That your focus is clear and chosen, right? Um, so yeah, so you're very receptive, you're very open, and I do think that there is because it also connects to this idea about danger, right? So and a sense of flow as well. So I do think that you need to rise above, because that's actually how I interpreted the hexagram 7 at this moment in time, is that you need to elevate yourself that you need to elevate yourself above uh, these negative influences, to elevate yourself above a certain kind of danger perhaps, um, that you need to protect yourself from. So I do think that you need to rise above certain influences, and you see all of these people, they have their weapons, right? So it could definitely I think this is likely talking about the chosen people, right? Being guarded, being having their weapons ready. But so I don't think this is talking about like rising above that. But it is just talking about that the chosen need to rise above certain kind of negative influences to protect themselves from danger, pretty much, and that you want to have a very a flow in your days, right? So have different kind of days, interesting days. So you're not very predictable for the dark forces, but at the same time also be very, very clear about your focus. So that's why I'm choosing my focus for the day, the evening before, or the like as I wake up in the morning, so that I have a very clear focus for the day ahead, right? So every day has a different kind of focus, so it is very flowing in nature, it's very aligned, right, with the Holy Spirit. But at the same time, it's also incredibly stable in the sense that you want to be flowy and stable at the same time. So you want to be have different kinds of days. So you are unpredictable for the dark forces, but at the same time, you want to be very, very clear about your focus, right? To be very um, organized, disciplined, you have a clear focus. So that's what I'm receiving there. And then when it comes to the fortune stick, there is this text, right? The text that goes with that, which is for the sake of one child, the rulers command war. Um, for the sake of one child, the rulers command war, the death of all children in his own city. But the orphan was hidden in a far-off state, and when a man earned revenge for his father. So I do think what really stood out to me was this idea about a far-off state, and I do think that that's what this is. You want your state in terms of like, for example, being joyful is a state, right? So you want your state to be your emotional, your mental state. You want that to be a far off state, so far away from certain negative influences, far removed from vibration of your environment, pretty much. So that's very important because you will be hiding yourself. You'll be hidden in a far off state. So it really makes me think like you want to be hiding away from certain negative influences. You want to rise above, rise up, like to rise above a certain kind of state that other people are in, like the vibration that people are in, and you want to rise above that to get to hide yourself in a far off state, right? So a state in terms of like vibration, pretty much, right? Your emotional and your mental state. You want that to be much higher than other people, pretty much. Um, so this is also talking about that this may be a risky time and you should avoid overreaching yourself. So I do think I don't know what overreach means. So after maybe I can just quickly look it up. Yeah, it means to fall or lose by trying to do too much, going too far, or exceeding one's authority, power, or capabilities. Um, it often implies that someone has become too confident or greedy and as a result suffers a setback. So maybe you don't want to be greedy, you don't want to be too confident, and you don't want to fall or lose by trying to do too much. So you don't want to do too much on the day, for example. So overreaching could be you doing too much on a day. It could also be says to exceed one's authority, power, or capabilities. Let's see what that could mean. So overreaching yourself, failure to access, attempting to achieve or manage more than is possible, leading to failure or unintended negative consequences. Um, going beyond, so exceeding authority, going beyond established legal or official powers. Overdoing a strategy, trying too hard or aiming too high, causing a self-defeating outcome, deceit and outwitting, to get the better of someone through trickery or cunning. And it also means a technical term for horse striking. A horse striking its forefoot with its hind foot. Okay, interesting. So to overstretch, exceed, outwit, outsmart, overextend, and miscalculate. Okay, let's see. So you don't want to do that. Let's see. Do not get embroiled in conflicts with others. Try not to strive for wealth and fame, lest you encounter disaster along the way. You may have a tricky time in your personal life, but patience and tolerance will let you win through. So I don't really feel that. I don't think you will have that much trouble there if you protect yourself. And what I found very interesting is that it connects to the stories of special children who were being hunted at birth. Um, so, for example, and that you can find them worldwide. So, and there's this example giving of baby Krishna, the child Jesus are two examples. So, if there are people, the moral here is that rash, fearful, or vengeful actions will rebound. Trying to destroy what you fear may well lead to that fear returning 100 times worse. And there is a Greek legend. So in Greek legend, the basis of the tragic notion was the attempt to kill children destined to overthrow you. So I do think that this is talking about that you don't want to overthrow people who are destined to overthrow you, right? You could see it like that. But like this is talking about the stories of the special children who are being hunted at birth, right? So I do think because we are getting the examples of the child Jesus and baby Krishna, right? And that there are many more examples of this found worldwide. So I do think that this is talking about the special children, so the chosen children, so the people who are meant to come and overthrow the current way of doing things, I guess, the current state of the world. and that those who are taking eventual actions towards them, that this will rebound to themselves, and actually it will be returning 100 times worse. So definitely don't mess with the chosen right now. So let's see. Or maybe this is already the case, right? So don't destroy what you may fear. So maybe if there are people, because you are likely the chosen if you're watching this video, right? If there are people who are trying to destroy you because they fear you, that this will lead to that fear returning to them and 100 times worse. And any kind of vengeful, fearful, or rash actions from them that are not moral, or the moral here, right? So yeah, it that will rebound to them, right? So it will be returned back to them. So maybe you have been hunted since the moment you were born, or you are considered a special child, right? Someone who is of the special children on this earth, the chosen ones, right? Who are destined to overthrow something. And so if they think that they will be attempting to overthrow you, right? To destroy you in some kind of way, that you are destined to overthrow them is what wants to be mentioned here. And then we have these three cards as well. So we have Ha. Actually, you have to speak it like Ha. The other ones I didn't look up, so I don't know what the correct pronunciation is. So so Ha here, right? So it's written as He, but it's Ha. Um, this talks about if people would be scolding you in some kind of way, because it's connected to scold, to drink, my goodness, my breath. So I do think that I want to connect it to the idea of to drink of your goodness. So maybe are people going to try to drink of your goodness? Maybe people have been scolding you in some kind of way through their words, like disrespecting you. Um, so they are drinking of your goodness, I guess, of your light, right? You see this sunshine here, and they have also been scolding you. So it means that people have been drinking of your light and at the same time disrespecting you. So it's time that you become a little bit more authoritative towards them. And yeah, this connects to show, right? To grass, straw, manuscript, draft, or a document, careless, rough, or a herb. So I do think if we connect that to the rest, I think this talks about like drawing through a straw. So they are drinking your goodness, your light. They are drinking your goodness, your light through a straw right now. So they are barely getting anything anymore, I think. And you are also controlling that maybe as well. So that's what I'm getting with that. And they may be a little bit careless or rough with how they have been drinking of your goodness, perhaps, right? Or how they have been talking to you. So and now they get to drink your goodness from a straw, right? So it is they're going to be hardly being given anything, pretty much. And you're also going to be protecting yourself. You're going to be like this person's drinking water when it is very sunny. So you're going to be protecting yourself from the heat. So that's what this is talking about. And then we have Dion, which means electricity, electrical, or lightning even. It's also connected to anything related to technology and power. And sometimes, if it's written a little bit differently in terms of character, it would also connect to a shop or a store. So it could be that your store is going to be highly attractive. If you have a shop or a store, it will be highly attractive. And it could be that there's something about that you are electric in some kind of way. And again, light, solar, electric, right? So you'll be electric in some kind of way. Maybe your light is very electric, so it could give you a jolt perhaps, or it could talk about that you are that your light is shining very brightly, like here, right, vibrantly. So your light is going to be shining very, very brightly, and they are going to these people are going to have to drink that from a straw, right? So they're hardly going to be receiving any light from you anymore. So that's what this is talking about. They are not going to be drinking of your goodness anymore, or hardly of your goodness anymore. So that's what this is talking about. So I'm wishing you a very beautiful day ahead, and I hope this was helpful. Bye bye.